Hey, what's going on, guys? So I just wanted to let you know before this video starts. As you can see, it's a very long video. Now, this is just me and Ellie having a conversation. I know a lot of you like just watching me and Ellie talk. We're reacting to one of Andy Pant's videos. The name of the video is "Can I Prove That Games Went Woke?" We wanted to see if he could actually prove it. The video is only 20 minutes long on his end, but it's 2 hours long for us because, you know, me and Ellie love yapping. Now, we go off on all sorts of tangents, so I'm just warning you now. If you're usually here for fighting games and fighting game content, this video is not for you. If you don't like watching people go off on random tangents and having a laugh and a joke about loads of random different things, this video is not for you, which is fine. I'm just managing expectations. This is a long discussion around video games and how they're being perceived and if they've gone woke. You know, we don't really like using that word, but we wanted to see how he would present his arguments. And we have loads of discussions. We even have discussions that are things that are loosely related to the topic, but not necessarily related to gaming. So if you're into watching videos like that, then you're going to like this video. Just long form discussions that branch off into loads of different things and cover different topics, but ultimately come back to the main topic. If you're not really into that and you're more into like the quick fighting game content, just letting you know now, this video is not for you, because I know sometimes people get a bit confused at the content on the channel. I've kind of just started doing whatever I wanted. It's still predominantly fighting games, but I post loads of random things, as you guys have seen. I cover loads of different situations now. So I also do want to let you guys know that there is echo. So when we're reacting to the video, you can hear everything clearly. I've watched it back obviously because I edited it. You can hear everything clearly, but it is echoing. The reason for that is that unfortunately my headphone jack does not support it for two people, and we don't have a headphone long enough so that me and Ellie can plug one ear in each and listen. So we just have to listen from the computer, and obviously the mic picks that up. So you can hear everything Andy Pants says, but he is echoing when he says that. So I apologize for that. I hope that you still stick around to listen to the discussion because it's not echoing with me and Ellie. But I do think it was a pretty good discussion. So I'm in Greece right now. This is one of maybe 2 or 3 videos that I'm going to drop on the channel whilst I'm away. So when you're seeing this, I'm already going to be in Athens. So I'm trying to like get some content out for you guys to watch. So there's not going to be any live streams either this week. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoy the video and leave your comments in the comment section below. And once again, sorry about all the echo, but you can still hear him clearly. So leave a like on the video and let me know what you thought of it. I watched him debate with the Act Man. And in my opinion, the Act Man cooked him. And the thing is, the Act Man didn't really do any sort of cooking. It's just Andy was so...
He was cooking himself.
He was so childish, and so many dumb remarks came out of his mouth that I was like, you've lost by default. But we haven't watched one of his videos in ages, so I thought he put there, "Can I prove that games went woke?" And I was interested. I haven't seen it. I haven't actually seen any of this. So I thought, let's see if he can actually prove it. Because you know, sometimes you ask people what is woke, and they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, true.
They have no idea what it is. And I think the reason for that is that the word has been like bastardized so much from like, it's moved so many times that I think it's hard to understand what people even mean when they say it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lost its feeling, or lost its meaning.
Yeah, because it used to be like opening your eyes to like the establishment and like the forces that be or whatever. Now it's like, now liberal. The way I perceive it is like a radical liberal movement. Like they're being extreme. If I tell you that you're being woke, because I try not to use it.
Yeah.
I'm basically saying to you that you're coming across as like a leftist, like an extremist to me. So I don't know if he'll explain it well, but we'll check it out.
So we're saying that the title of this game is "Can I Prove That Games Went Extreme Liberal?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not even liberal. Woke. Because I think when we say woke, I think what we're saying is it's... Oh, you meant extreme liberal?
Yeah. That's what I did. I said it.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I missed that part. Yeah, no, if they've actually gone too far left. Way too far left. Because left to me looks different. When I was a kid, or like when I was a teenager, being left was like, it's the right thing to do. Now I'm like, I don't know.
So a few weeks ago, I had the Act Man on my stream to have a casual chat about wokeness in video games. He denied that women in games are becoming uglier. He denied that games are becoming less masculine. And he denied that games are becoming more woke. A few days later, he made a video making fun of the idea that there was wokeness in games and got absolutely bodied by his followers. Finally, I invited the Act Man to come back on my stream and have an actual debate. And of course, he pussied out and canceled. So what?
The reason that he cancelled is because this guy does not know how to debate. I will admit he puts his videos together quite well. This is revisionist though. It was not a debate.
Yeah.
It was like talking to a child. And I expected, after watching all of Andy Pant's videos, even though I can tell he's being deliberately provocative,
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to have some points, right? He's winding people up, he's getting the views in,
Yeah.
but he has his points. He has no points to make. It was very much like...
I don't understand.
Do you remember Jordan Peterson and Kathy Newman? So what you're saying is, that's what it was.
Oh, yeah,
It was literally that. Like, Actman would say something, and he would say, so what you're saying? And I was like, bro.
Just listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, it was poor. So this guy can't debate his points for shit, which is something...
No, he's not debating Ackman's points. He's debating his own contrived or whatever he believes he's trying to say. Because it helps him to answer the question a little bit better.
I think when you get people on live stream and you actually talk to them, you can really tell who scripts their entire videos and like reads it over multiple times, then puts it out. Yeah. Which I would say there's nothing wrong with doing that, unless you can also just have a normal conversation with people. But he proved, at least from what I could see, that he couldn't. And then he went one step further, and I believe he gave Actman a copyright strike, which got taken away. Because Actman reposted the conversation because he's in it. And YouTubers know, we don't, as much as I hate, there's certain people I don't like on this platform.
That's so lame.
I won't give them a strike. Even if they reacted to all my videos every day, Michael's an idiot, he's an idiot, blah, I won't give them a strike. Yeah. It's fair use. You know, you put yourself on like, and for someone that leans on the side of free speech to do something like that, I was like, that's pretty lame.
But that is pretty lame, to be honest. And we're sure it's him, yeah.
It was him. I saw the whole Twitter beef and back and forth. Super lame.
Whatever, y'all. I'm done with the guy. I'm just glad he finally exposed himself as the homo that he is. But the real thing I want to talk about in this video...
I don't know how this guy gets away with it.
I really don't either.
It's impressive.
I'm just like, why is that a point to make? What are all of his points? Just okay, but you're gay.
You're gay. Like... It's literally like being back in school.
Yeah.
Simple question: are games becoming more woke? If you have your eyes open and have played more than one game in your life, it's pretty obvious they are. But just in case anybody,
I don't think women playing more games inherently means that they have become more woke.
Agreed.
Let's see, what is this? Main character in game is a man. I can play it as a woman or a man, or I can play it as a woman.
Wait, what? I can play as a woman or a man?
Yeah, or I can play only as a woman, sorry.
Or I can only play as a woman, yeah, I get you.
I don't think that inherently makes it woke, though.
I don't either. I mean, why is that any different?
Yeah, there's
games for him, game for her, right? Well.
But using a female character is not a woke.
No, exactly.
It's not woke. It's just we've always used female characters before. Like that's a
Tomb Raider.
Also, what is this based on? Where's the data? This is just.
It's true. It's literally just a chart with numbers. Like 20 most played console and PC games each year. Like what?
You have to reference where you got it from.
Yeah. And what are the games?
Yeah. What are the games? Because we know that women populate what are those Facebook games called?
Like mobile games and stuff.
Yeah, like mobile games and like Farmville and stuff like that. Women dominate those. And
man's got a tent to the farm.
Like Stardew Valley and all that stuff. Like those are heavily dominated by women.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, didn't you tell me to play it?
It's really fun.
He disagrees with this simple fact. I'm making a video to show you the most egregious examples of the woke cancer infecting video games. So first off, we need to define woke, because they always say that we can't. Merriam-Webster defines it very clearly.
Who says that we can't?
I think what people often will say, oh, what does woke mean? And then they'll get to like explain it and they'll start stumbling over themselves.
Got you.
So Oh, it paused at the right time.
So people are not very like sure is what he's saying.
Yeah, like people repeat stuff they hear on the internet.
Yeah,
And,
buzzwords.
Yeah, and they're like, then you'll ask them, "What do you mean by that?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you know, blah blah blah." Which, you know, I think it's fair to ask people. Probably shouldn't be using the word you don't
It's
know.
just kind of weird. Like, obviously, he's putting up the definition there,
Yeah.
right? The urban definition, I suppose.
Merriam-Webster.
Yeah. When it says politically liberal, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Mm.
I can see how, you know, on one side that could seem like a negative thing if you are obviously on the opposing side. But progressive in matters of racial and social justice, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah,
I don't necessarily agree with that definition, because I feel like even if you are a conservative, there are certain ways that you would progress such issues as those. You just have a different way of progressing said issue. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I think with progressives now, much like work, when you say that somebody's progressive because of the political climate, we already know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the connotations.
Yeah, it's and the thing is that there is like really extreme, absurd expressions of progressiveness that I've witnessed. Like, there's certain things in the education system which, me as like a person of color, still looks.
It's crazy like, for me because, like, I've obviously from the UK and like not being of school age anymore. Our experience with the education system is quite far removed now.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you firsthand that I have, you know, experienced something that I felt had gone too far, because for me one of the biggest problems in the education system is that it hasn't progressed very much at all, like in terms of education. Like, we learn all the same stuff.
When we went to school, it was very different. From what I've been seeing online, almost unrecognizable.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
but the curriculum's still the same though.
It's still a load of shit.
Yeah,
you could say it's got even worse. That, you know, like we always said, they weren't teaching us what we needed to know in life. You can really say that now. Like, what are they teaching these kids? So I don't disagree with that definition of woke, especially where we are as society now.
Liberal or progressive as in matters of racial and social justice, especially in a way that is considered unreasonable or extreme. Wokeness contains false ideologies within it.
Should have read that whole sentence.
Yeah, the definition I don't disagree with. I don't necessarily disagree with this either.
Yeah, no. I need to practice reading the whole sentence.
Oh, did you not read it?
Marxism, critical race theory, intersectionality, and many others. But what is wokeness really about? At the bottom of their hearts, woke people hate anything that is good, beautiful, and true. Woke people hate beautiful.
They just hate truth.
What the fuck?
Truth? Fuck that.
Like, I consider myself pretty liberal, Gavel. You know?
Yeah, you're not. I wouldn't consider you like what he's talking about here. He's talking about. And like I said, you're doing so much work, good work for the pink head community, because they're not doing themselves any favors right now.
They'd probably want to burn me, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
just for
fucking
sitting next to
me.
me. Are you sitting next to Mike Harlow? But yeah, no, so far I hear where he's coming from. If he's talking about the radicals,
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you just have to go to
Makes
Twitter.
a lot of sense now.
Yeah, go on Twitter, you'll find the radicals. You'll see exactly what he's talking about.
Women, they hate masculine men. They hate healthy sexuality. They hate normal people. You see this last week with the trans creative director at BioWare designing a character creator where this is the biggest butt you can have, and this is...
What? What's the biggest bulge size?
That's the biggest bulge.
No, that's the biggest glute size.
Oh,
he's on zero bulge. Like, that's a big
right, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Waist width minus 70. He's really going for that fucking fantasy.
I guess he was trying to make the point that even with it all down, it still looks like.
No, but I'm just saying, like, let's just take all of this into proportion. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Let's just lower this so they
I'm
can
just
see
thinking,
that.
like, she's like almost at max height. Maybe she was a little shorter, she'd fill out a little more. Maybe look a bit more stocky.
You can have one of those Resident Evil 8 like big ladies with the curves. What's her name?
Literal Lady Dimitri.
When she came out, I was like, the internet's gonna rule 34 immediately.
the biggest
Sorry.
chest you can have on a
I
woman.
was just about to say, that's the biggest chest you can have.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. I will be honest. And a character creator, that is ridiculous.
What fucking game is this?
Dragon Age.
This is preposterous.
Yeah, it's being shit on. No one likes it.
I'm sorry. Not in any fantasy, okay? Am I... Okay, you know what? That I was just personal experience. I'm gonna myself Jugos.
Yeah.
I don't understand, dude.
I mean, look, that a woman having
Yeah, man.
a flat body is
It's
fine.
fine. In reality.
But you should give people options, right? If I want to have the flat body, it's my option.
I'm
If I
okay with one.
Yeah, if I want to have the
No, I'm kidding, but
ridiculous
I do,
anime
yeah.
body,
Yeah, man. Why not?
I should
man?
be allowed to have that.
It's
Dragon
my
Age,
fantasy.
Big L on character creator body proportions, man. SmackDown versus Raw got this better. Unbelievable.
It's obvious the people who made this hate attractiveness in females and in
I don't
males.
think they hate healthy.
Another
I don't
thing
think
woke
it's-
people hate is diversity. Say what? Come again, Andrew? Isn't the whole woke movement built upon creating more diversity, equity, and inclusion?
You gotta do that damn voice. That gets me every time.
He used the back of his throat this time.
Yeah. Guzzled that.
Well, that's the genius of it. Woke people say they love representation and equality, while only pushing for acceptance by a small group of people. When they talk about equality, I like to ask them this question. Are white men included in the woke movement's definition of diversity? No. Are religious people included in the woke movement's definition of diversity? No. Are big-breasted, beautiful women included in the woke movement's definition of diversity? No.
Sad.
So it turns out woke people actually hate diversity because they despise these groups of people and leave them out of games.
It's a big absolutes he's talking in, personally.
If he is talking about the extremes and not just liberals, then okay.
But that's the problem. When you use the word so brazenly and so like offhand, I think it just loses its meaning to the point where you're just literally just calling anyone on the left a wokey, you know. And I think that when you do that, it starts to dilute the meaning. That you're not talking about extremists anymore. You're just talking about people you don't agree with.
Yeah. If he was talking exclusively about, by his definition, the extremists,
Yeah.
then I'd say, okay, I've seen it on Twitter. I've actually witnessed it. Twitter is a really good place if you want to go to watch crazy people on both sides. I mean, I showed you this shit with Myron Gaines, right?
Yeah.
The absolute insane racist outburst.
Absolute insanity.
He's
Then the shunning from those same white supremacists.
That's crazy to me. So if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, not to divert too much, but Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit went on a crazy racist tirade, which has been going on now for about a week. You know, he's been going strong for about a week after a black woman on his podcast got into an altercation.
He treated her crazy, dude.
He treated her crazy. Now, I did say that she did not help her situation at all. She was also very annoying, but it's by design. They bring those women
I don't
on.
even think that's fair, because I think when you bring someone on under those circumstances and then the whole room kind of turns against you, naturally that person's going to get extremely defensive because they are literally the only person on their own side in a room full of strangers. Like, you're not going to put your best foot forward, so I don't want to like judge her too harshly.
I watched the entire podcast.
She came across.
She started it, but Myron, being a man, you know, he should have de-escalated the situation and saw what was going on. But obviously, you know, clicks and views, say all the crazy shit. So ever since that happened, he has just gone on one. I haven't even shown you all of them. It's just going and going and going. And before he can make amends with any black person, who does he make amends with? A literal
Nazi.
Literal, like, self-proclaimed white supremacist. And I was like, well done, Myron. And he went one step further today. Pass me my phone. Let me show you something. Since I've been getting hundreds of death threats from Shaniquas, Laquans, and other pigmented individuals, here's your chance to get your revenge. I can meet all of you, so I'm running a NIG sweepstakes. A NIG sweepstakes. All you have to do is fill out the attached job application, record yourself, read one page out of a Harry Potter book. DM both to me under your death threat so I know you're serious about it. Once I confirm your receipt of your job application and reading comprehension, I'll drop the addy. NIG speak for providing a valid address or location where a subject will be present. so you can get your revenge. I just need to verify you want employment and can actually read the address. Don't be mad at me. Statistically speaking, a lot of blacks can't read. I just need proof. Ready, set, go, and then post this application form for McDonald's.
That's really crazy, man. It's
Just-
insane to me that that's the leader of the black pill community.
Yeah, well, the red pill. The red pill. Even though it's very clearly gone far beyond that at this point.
He's
Like,
not
this-
red pill, dude. That's completely like black pilled. Like
Oh, yeah,
you,
no,
you
yeah,
are
yeah.
gone.
No, he is, but he claims to be the leader of the
Yeah.
red pill. But the red pill movement in itself is just a sham.
Yeah.
I understand where it started. I understand Kevin Samuels and all of that stuff, and
I understand the need for some men to feel like, you know, they need guidance somewhere, you know.
But vultures came in,
Yeah.
and when Kevin Samuels passed, Pearl, Myron, Fresh, all these other ones, I can't remember their names because they're irrelevant. They just came there picking at his corpse
And
and
they're
taking.
just picking like on young men as well. I think that's like the worst part about it, that they're so impressionable, these young men.
Yeah,
You know, growing up to like have this as the example of how you treat women.
yeah,
And also the example, because obviously you don't, as a kid, you don't have that first world experience, and seeing all these women kind of come into this podcast, and they're not an accurate or depiction of what actual women are like in places outside of Miami.
yeah.
It just feels very like you're creating a really dangerous and false impression of women.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and they know that their podcast is just an OnlyFans ecosystem. The
Yeah.
girls come on, the thirsty guys are like, "Oh, who is she?" Sink their bank accounts into her. Never gonna get to touch her or meet her.
No, hell no.
Then they bring on more, and it's just an endless cycle. That's just it keeps going. They've gotten all this publicity from this outburst, even though I don't know what it's gonna get them since they're demonetized. And if he keeps going at this rate, I can only imagine what is gonna happen next. It's not to deviate too much from the video, but
Yeah, he could literally get killed. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the stuff that he's saying,
it's crazy.
someone can pull up.
Yeah.
So
Do you know what makes me laugh the most? Is that you have people on the internet who will say the most antagonistic stuff, and then they'll turn around to you and go, "Oh, if you do anything, you're weak." I'm sorry. Are you like these people are
Yeah.
so dumb? They'll be like, I can say whatever I want, but if you retaliate in any sort of way, and let me just make it clear because people like to interpret things. That's not me saying I will go out and do anything. I'm just not blind to the realities of
Yeah.
the world. You can't sit on the internet and tell people that they're weak and that they're
Exactly.
pathetic and that their arguments no longer mean anything. You're antagonizing people. The same way if you antagonize, like if Myron said that to a black person in their face,
yeah.
what do you think is going to happen? So you think saying it behind a keyboard is okay?
Or it keeps you safe. It really doesn't.
I could say whatever I want.
The
Free,
funny
free, free
thing
speech,
is
but you
that-
do anything.
This whole situation, like all of this YouTube stuff, it's all fun and games until you'll realize that you're actually playing a game of fuck around and find out.
Yeah,
And I think that he's playing a really fucking dangerous game.
yeah, he's being super racist, and then to go into a white supremacist group chat and them say, "Hey, we don't want you here."
Yeah. That's
After
crazy.
you've just done that, it's just like, bro, like, no one wants you.
No one, yeah, literally.
This, and then people have showed up to his address before. They've showed up there, threatening violence, and I'm just like, this is only going to go one way. As much as I don't like the guy, I don't particularly want to be.
It's egregious, but in this time, like to go to a white supremacist, right, in this day and age, essentially begging to be taken in.
Yeah,
And in this day and age, for them to be like, no, we don't, we want all black people at our heel, but just not you.
yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Not even they will take
Yeah,
you.
humiliating. Absolutely fucking humiliating.
Fucking white supremacist, man. All right, let's,
We deviated enough.
To prove to you that these people hate white men, the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a video game consultancy, recently said this. Also, I don't know why games featuring human characters are still so white and male. Like, imagine the CEO of Microsoft being like, why are people in games so black now? So there's an obvious insane double standard here. This broken, childless woman also said this. Pay me to shoot down your white male lead.
wait, is it fair to say that?
She is the
I mean this.
too many black people in games.
Because I think the reason why people get away with saying, damn, there's so many white, like, or what did she say? What was the exact quote? I don't know why games featuring human characters are still so white and male.
Probably because they're being produced in places where there's predominantly white male
Yeah,
men.
no, yeah, basically. But
Yeah.
also in that sense, it's kind of like they're still the main players. Like they're still the main audience. No, like we discussed this before.
Yeah, they are still the main audience.
So of course, like that's going to be the dominant audience or the dominant like main character, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to say.
It's a dumb thing to say, but
she's
then
trying
the
to be
equivalent.
antagonistic.
Yeah, but then the equivalent is not to be
Man,
like
imagine the CEO of Microsoft being like, why are people in games so black?
the reason why that's fucking egregious is because there isn't. There is actually there was been a long-standing problem of there being a lack of representation.
Yeah.
So to turn around in this day and age, knowing that that's a problem, and turning around and saying there's too many black people in games,
Yeah.
that's a crazy thing to fucking say, and it absolutely is
Yeah.
racist. But to say something that has predominantly been a problem, that there has been a saturation, of the white ethnicity in games, like maybe overused, you could say. Of course, then someone turning around and saying, damn, like, there's a lot of white people.
Well, the thing is, I don't like the phrasing because I
Or
don't
there's
think...
too many white people in games. That's the exact phrasing being used here, right?
Yeah, I don't like the way she's coming about it because she is doing it in an antagonistic way. It's not... The question should be, like, how can we get more... If they want to add more people of colour in, how can we add more people in? Like, because I don't see white people being in games predominantly as a problem. Just because I, like, play Japanese games, Japanese characters are predominantly... they're Japanese because they're from Japan. These places are... Like, they complained about The Witcher. When The Witcher came out, there was no black people in it. And I was like, yeah, because it's made in fucking Poland, mate. It's made in Poland. It's like Middle-earth. Like, if there was a game that came out from Africa and I saw no white people and I saw a white person going, where's all the white people? I'd be like, are you fucking stupid, bro? We're in Uganda. Where do you think you are?
I think that's kind of what I'm going to try to say, where this is just a bit of a... Like, I find this point to be very redundant and...
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same for me. Like, they're saying different things.
Yeah. It's, Andy Pants is
Yeah, clearly.
not always a light on it.
Sad.
Neither of them. Kimberly also not entirely sure.
So there's an obvious insane double standard here. This broken, childless woman also said this. Pay me.
Broken, childless. And you know what's fucked up as well? Is like the way he said woman there sounded like...
Yeah. The R on the end of the N word, right?
Broken, childless woman.
Yeah, you could feel the vitriol. on that
You
one.
need... Oh god.
Yeah, he said it.
It's
You saw
showing,
veins
Andy.
pop up.
Yeah, literally.
Woman.
To shoot down your white male lead game ideas. But it gets worse. Black Girl Gamers, a racist woke organization, has publicly stated this: we will not work with white mids.
So, Black Girl Gamers, I know who these people are. They're in the UK. I don't know if they know who I am, but I know who they are. I've been in the same vicinities as them.
I'm not seeing the issue.
No, that
For now.
well, not just saying we're not working with white people. That's
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Oh no, I'm sorry, not that bit. I mean this specific thing where he's like, I think he outright introduced them as like, what did he say about them?
Has publicly stated this: we will not work with whites worse. Black Girl Gamers, a racist woke organization, has publicly stated this:
Racist and what?
Well, yeah, I get where he's coming from. It does feel like, and I actually had a conversation with somebody who I'll remain anonymous, but she's also affiliated this, and I was approached to do some work because of how I look. And I said to them, listen, I've got no problem working with people that look like me, but my problem is how you think. So if I walk into this place and I know you're being exclusionary, and it's not just a thing where you want to do something to actually like put some representation on maybe people that are underrepresented, I don't have a problem with that. But being underrepresented is not tied to your skin color sometimes, because there's white women that don't get any representation. I literally saw Kai Cenat go into some girl's stream who has literally been streaming for 3 years straight. She's never turned it off, never missed a day. Stream's never gone down. She's got no recognition for it. So Kai Cenat went in there, gave her tons of recognition.
Yeah.
So I'm like, in those sort of situations, you shouldn't be excluding people based on gender or race. And I said to her, there's not that these guys have ever reached out to me, but there's certain groups in the UK I will not go near because I believe they're racist. I believe they have a problem with white people. And to me, I'm just like, you're...
Okay.
So-
Okay. I can see why, like, obviously, saying a group has a problem with white people, of course, is inherently racist. At least that's what I think. That's my opinion. I know
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, it has to be systemic. And I think there's nothing more systemic than making a group and then specifically fucking trying to, like, not or exclude a race,
Yeah, it
like,
doesn't
in your
help.
system. You know, you're creating a power imbalance there and thriving on it. Like, you like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I get what you're saying, but if the situation is just we are trying to carve out spaces, because I've had this conversation with you before where being a female gamer is like a lonely space,
Yeah.
especially like team games, you know, they hear you're a girl and instantly they're against you anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're black and a girl, it's like you just don't play. Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I think like it's okay that a group of girls, a group of black girls, a group of whatever ethnicity it could be Spanish girls. Do you see what I'm saying? Whatever it might be, I think it's okay that people want to carve out a space for themselves and create a community based on things that they want to have in common. Say, for example, I'm constantly getting harassed because of my skin color, right? As a way to fight back, I create a group specifically saying, yeah, we are that color and we are literally in your face. It's incendiary for the person that is trying to like make that you don't have a space here. But it's also good for you in the sense that you advertise to other people that are maybe feeling that way, that there's a space for them and a safer space for them. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but it just sounded that way. Like,
So I made a video on them. I made several videos because they were making, in my opinion, just idiotic remarks, and I didn't feel like it was helping anything. So I actually atted them. I wanted them to see it, which I know they have. And I said that I would like to speak to you guys face to face because I have questions for the things you've been saying. This was all taking place during the Wukong game coming out. There was a lot of stupid things coming out when Wukong was about to be released. They were saying, you know, it's being supported by the right.
yeah,
Just
I remember.
Yeah, it was a lot of nonsense. So I added them. They would have seen it because their YouTube channel is not very big. So although there were a lot of people covering them, my video got like 17,000 views, and then there was the other one as well. And I know through somebody else that some people in their organization know who I am. So and you've seen me. I don't attack people unnecessarily unless they attack me first. So they weren't willing to have a conversation. There's other groups in the UK. There's one called Melanin Gamers, and like I said, I have no problem with groups forming to try and do something. My problem is when they start trying to wield that power for the exact thing that they were fighting against.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that's why I wanted to make that distinction, because I think that the way it sounds, like he makes it seem like inherently because they're called that, it makes them racist. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
I think, no, I don't think that's true at all. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot more the nuance. you
Yeah,
know?
definitely.
Will not work with white men. Imagine any company saying that. Imagine a company just saying, nope, if you're black, we won't serve you. Danny Ladonders, who was a game developer on this game called Validate, and I think she worked for Ubisoft, specifically said in a video that she doesn't hire white men.
That's fucking crazy.
Just to go even further,
Just to confirm, she actually said that. I covered a video and she said that she needs to protect people of color from microaggressions, and in her experience, it's just better to have white people away from that color.
No, darling. Like, that's fucked up.
She's unhinged. That woman's unhinged.
I'm sorry, but that's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, she doesn't. These people don't seem to understand that the pendulum is going to swing back at them, and we're just going to be back at square one. It should be.
No, I should fucking hope not, because smarter people will be like, this is fucking dumb.
You would think, but it's much easier to give in to hate, and people,
This is dumb.
like we've seen with like countries around the world, when you push people too much, the pendulum will just swing the other way.
It's disappointing, to be
It's
honest.
very disappointing.
down the rabbit hole, Ubisoft has a mentorship program right now where they said they will not consider you for it if you are a white man. So guys,
It is. Yeah, I read their requirements. They were very specific.
What?
It's not good. these things that are going on, it's not good. They're not helping the situation, especially because predominantly gamers are white men. They make up the most space.
Okay, so let's view it from that perspective. Okay,
Yeah.
let's view it from the perspective of we've got a predominantly white male, you know, audience or target audience. And you're a company and you're like, we want to diversify. Okay. Maybe the reason why they put this here is because obviously to be eligible for this diversity hire, you obviously cannot be the same as all of their others. So by that base, they saying we will not consider you for this specific role if you are white, based on the fact that we're trying to diverse away from only being that. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think there's a better way to go about it.
Agreed. I mean, what the fuck? That cannot be the best way to word that.
Yeah. Like, it's having an apprenticeship, and it's just like you have to be a woman or non-binary, and also make sure you're not a white male. It's like
But think about it this way: if your entire history, I'm not saying this is like for fact, but I'm just saying, if your entire history as a company was that you only ever gave your apprenticeships to white or white men, you know, or white women, fuck it, whatever. If you then create a new apprenticeship that's aimed at increasing diversity within your company, why would you then give that to a white person? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, when you view it in that way, I guess it does make sense, because it's not like they're saying we're replacing all of our apprenticeships for, you know, inclusive apprenticeships. There are still those available, which means other white people can apply for those. But this specific hire is for if you are meeting these specific criteria.
I just think this whole criteria thing is stupid, because we now live in a society where they're pushing this stuff. So the idea now is to be accepting of these people. But there's an overcorrection, because I think the company should be set up in a way where back in the day they would not hire people like me or you, right? They'd look at us and be like, no, because, you know, it was racist back then. We went through a racist time. Now they're overcorrecting and they're saying we've fucked up so bad here, we have to fix it this way. Instead of just acknowledging that you were dicks then, and if a non-binary person comes in and they smash it and they're amazing, give them the job. You don't have to be like, no, we need to open up this space because we don't have enough of these people. Maybe enough of these people are just not interested, and you're trying to overcorrect. Just be good people and the right people, and hire the right person for the job. If I walked into a company, it was all black men. Yeah. But the company's motto is we just hire the best. I'm like, well, the best guys won. It's
I understand, but you don't tend to think that, because people will tell you that. Like, if you, for example, ask for feedback based on your performance in your interview, they'll just tell you, no, you were great. It's just someone else had more experience. AKA, they were better. They were a better hire than you.
I'm talking idealistically though. Like, if I was to take people at their word, if companies were just good.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't live in an ideal world. So because of that, we are having to do things like this, where, for example, say a company has gotten in trouble because they've known or been known to say no to people based on their sex, or they've known to discriminate against people, right? Then the obvious PR answer, the positive spin on that, would be to overcorrect publicly, which means you create... You're not doing the same thing, because if you would be doing the same thing if you essentially removed all hires, and just replace them with these kind of like inclusive hires only, where you're saying we're not hiring men at all, we're not hiring women at all, or white women or men. But that's not what's happening here. They're saying for this specific role, we will not hire you if you're white, because you're not fitting of the criteria. We're trying to move away from it just being this white male sausage fest. So why would we use our one inclusive hire to give it to a white man? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So in the sense of like the role being created, I understand if there was a serious issue within the company and they needed to correct this publicly, so the PR of the company was, you know, better down the line, they would have to create spaces for these people so that obviously down the line they're part of the conversation and they mold, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, oh damn, it's right there. Basically, they influence the culture of your company. Do you see what I'm saying? And clearly, in the matters of places like Blizzard, not in the best way. You know, there's clearly been some overcorrections, but they need to happen in order for us to find the good middle ground. And I think this is obviously, it might come back to bite them, or
I
it
think
will
it
come
will.
back to bite them
Yeah, I
if it's a
think it
bad idea.
I think also I do want to point out that I don't just think they mean identify as a woman. What I think they mean to say is identify as a liberal woman. Because if this woman is right leaning, I don't think that if they go on her Twitter and they're like, hey, there's a lot of American flags and eagles, I don't think she'll get the hire. For people to write something like that,
But you identify as a woman, so that in the way that it's worded, you would assume that that's obviously speaking about trans women because they're identifying as a woman.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, no, I didn't pick up on that. Yeah, I don't.
But you're right too, like in the sense that I'm a woman, I would identify as a woman, so I could go for this role. But the chances of me getting this role are very, very small, simply because I don't meet all of the criteria, whereas another candidate would absolutely.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I can't then also apply for the job under a different job criteria. You know, my opportunity is not taken away, but one is exclusively for this particular thing to curb a pattern of behavior in our company that we're trying to quell. I think.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't think I think in the long run it doesn't actually solve any issues.
Yeah.
I think
but it looks good.
it looks
optically.
good. Yeah.
To the people that you're trying to pander to.
The investors and whatnot. Us reading this, like,
looks like,
the gamers are reading this like, why are you doing this?
Well, they read it the way that we read it the first time.
Yeah, we
Why
start
not
laughing.
home whites?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Racist, bro.
Yeah.
You're exactly what you're fighting against.
Now, where they said they will not consider you for it if you are a white man. So guys, as it turns out, the people who rally the hardest against racism and sexism are actually the most racist and sexist. Oops! This clip from a PragerU video also does a really good job of explaining woke thinking.
Critical race theory begins from the assumption that racism occurs in all interactions. Imagine you own a shop.
I fucking hate this. This has been told to me in every single workplace that I've ever worked in. Michael, look out for microaggressions. I'm just like, no, bitch. I look racially ambiguous. So when someone walks up to me and says to me, this is the same one that I get every workplace, and I always tell the person that is telling us, I'm always like, you're an idiot. Like, you're just overly sensitive, and you are taking the most extreme examples. Someone will walk up to me because of how I look, because of the tattoos I've got on my hair, my skin color, and they'll hear my voice, they'll know that I'm British, but they'll say to me, where are you really from, though? Now, when people hear that, they immediately go, what do you mean, where am I really from? No, look at me. I'm obviously not English. I can hear it in my voice. But when you look at me, you're like, but what they're saying is, where are your parents from? Because we can't no one's ever guessed where I'm from, ever. So when I get that question, I don't get annoyed. But someone wants to tell me at work, oh no, Mike, you need to report that. I was like, what do you mean report that? The girl asked me, and she was not being, she was even looking like, did I do something? I was like, you didn't do anything wrong. They're just trying to overcorrect again. They're trying to make everybody sensitive. When people ask me that, of course, I look at myself in the mirror. If I didn't know me, I wouldn't know where I was from.
Is it necessary, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that overcorrection is necessary at all, because I don't think it is. But I also don't see the problem with having a preference in how you choose to be asked a question, or necessarily how to ask a question politely. Like, I think if you're being, or someone is saying to you, but where are you really from? I think in this day and age, because obviously we are so touchy, it's natural, depending on where the question is coming from, that you'd be defensive, especially if it's from a stranger. You know, you might feel like, I've lived here my whole life. What do you mean?
I don't think normal people get defensive, though.
You'd be surprised. Like, I think immigrants especially, like, I wasn't born here. When someone says that to me, I'm just like, I don't know any other home but here.
Yeah, but
I am from here. Don't ask me where are you really from. Like, I know I was born over there, but I came over here when I was 2 years old. I don't remember anything really about Colombia.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily get offended, but to say that there are better ways of saying, oh, like, where's your heritage? Like, what's your heritage? Or, oh, what's your nationality? Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, where are your parents from? Do you know what I mean?
Well, she said,
what's your lineage? Like, you look really interesting, or you're so, like, racially ambiguous, I can't tell where you're from.
Yeah,
you know?
well, the way she said it to me was like, how you'd imagine a normal place. She was like,
I imagine context has a lot to do with it.
But, like, where?
Yeah.
That's what she did. I was like, I knew what she meant, because I was like, obviously, I'm not white. So if someone came up to me and goes, well, where are you really from, mate? Then I'd be like, what do you... Because it's immediately changed. But they try to blanket statement this that you can't say this phrasing is unacceptable, and I say no. I've told the people of color that I work with, don't do this, dude. Like, they're not. We know these white people. They're just curious. That's all it is. They just want to know. They can't put where I'm from. If one of them walks up to you and goes, "Yeah, well, where are you really from, mate?" Like, aggressively, yeah, okay.
The thing is, I just think that I don't think it's okay to be like, oh, you know, all you of color people, don't take this the wrong way, because I'm just like, one day someone might say that to them with all of those wrong intentions. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
You don't want them to feel a certain type of way where it's like, should I not be feeling the way I'm feeling right now? It's invalidating.
I think it's worse to make them feel like I should have my back up straight away. I think it's better to assume people are just trying to be nice, because most of the time people are just. Sometimes people say it's dumb, ignorant shit. I don't think people are trying.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But I think that when you see the kind of temperature of the world right now, and racial tensions, you know, that kind of question can make people feel a little bit weird, and as such it turns an interaction that could have otherwise been okay and like a normal question make someone feel kind of awkward, and then that whole kind of, there's that little weird situation where someone says something very like, could be interpreted as racist. It's not racist at all, but then there's that little quiet like, anyway. Like,
some girl did it to me years ago, like on a dating profile years ago. She had curly hair like me, and she had I don't know, all this stuff on her. So I said, "So you look exotic." She was like, "What the fuck do you mean by that?" And
okay,
I was like,
Jesus.
"Don't fucking start with me. Have you seen me? Don't start that shit." I just unmatched her.
One time I had a guy, we went on a date, and he looked at me and he said, "You know, you're so beautiful and so pale, you're almost white." Bro, I looked at him like, okay,
Bye.
I'm not though. Sorry.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. If he sees this ever, well, you know who you are.
Where was he from?
Isle of Wight. Literally.
What were you expecting? It was in the name.
And two customers enter at the same time, one white and one black. Who do you help first? If you help the black person first, critical race theory would say you did so because you don't trust black people to be left alone in your store.
If I walk into a store and you serve me first, I'm gonna get mad. You put me at the end of the queue.
Damn time.
I want to be at the fucking end, outside the door. You serve me first, you're racist.
How about that?
Unbelievable. Fucking unreal.
It can't just be like, the thing is, you cannot win either way, because even like,
Dude, imagine the situation where he serves me and I go, "There's a fucking white guy."
yeah.
When you serve him, white guys, they're like, "Wait a second, what's going on here?"
Oh man, I'm just thinking of this situation where like, you don't trust black people to be left alone in your store.
That's so funny, dude.
But the like,
Here, quickly, hey, you, jump the queue. Here,
jump the
first.
queue right now. And then they'll be like, "Oh, you did that because you want me out of your store. Bear quick."
This has never happened in the history of anywhere. If you serve me first, you're my friend. I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. And English people love queuing. We love a good queue. I fucking hate it.
Especially at the post office.
Yeah.
That's racist. If you help the white person first instead, critical race theory would say you did so because you think blacks are second-class citizens.
What the fuck is this?
Fuck yeah, no. Is this what they teach
Is this real?
Is this what they teach you in America?
No. I'm just curious as to where this presentation is from. Is this genuinely PragerU? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know if PragerU's taking the piss, because PragerU's right-leaning. So I don't know if they're just taking the piss.
Maybe, because I'm just like, this cannot be.
This is mad.
It's not me. This cannot be.
Yeah. The shopkeeper's like, he sees a white and a black guy walking, he's like, what do I do? He just fucking says,
close the shop.
He just throws the keys at them, you sort it out. This is ridiculous. It's like literally being put in a mix-up.
Literally.
Like Akuma's coming from you,
Who do
five
you
balls at the
go?
top.
Who do you serve first? This is so dumb, dude. Just queue up, man. Fuck.
Like, what if his wife's at the till and she says to him, "Babe, can you help me with this?" Now, if you don't help your wife, you're fucking sexist as well. You can't win, mate. Whoever the shopkeeper is, he's cooked.
God help you if you're black.
Yeah. If the shopkeeper's white and looks like Steve Austin,
Oh,
you're done.
plot twist. Shopkeeper's black. Who does he serve first?
If he serves the black person first,
Critical race theory says
that he hates his
he
own
hates
people
himself.
and he believes that his own people will rob him. If he serves the white guy first, it's because he likes...
I think that one's true. No, I'm joking. Let's go.
That's racist too. That's critical race theory. It can find racism in
I don't
anything,
think it is,
even if it
but
has to read your
let's go
mind
for
to
that.
do it.
So
So I'm not going to do a deep dive into critical
let's
race
not do
theory
this.
now, but I hope to God, because I've heard of critical race theory before and I've heard some really dumb things
Yeah,
surrounding
same.
it that I don't agree with. If it's that bad, then help those
God
kids.
help.
Like,
God help the children.
those poor kids in school, can you imagine the white kids? They're like, wait, do I save him a seat at lunch? Do I park in the parking space or not?
I don't take Tom's lunch money because he's black. It's not still racist.
But if I do take it, I'm also racist.
Did I take it just because he's black?
I just feel like women are gonna lose here because the white guy's gonna be like, I don't know what's doing. It's gonna be like, bang.
basically, even if you try to not be racist,
You're
according
being
to them,
racist.
you're being racist.
Yeah, that's dumb as fuck.
Even if you try to not be sexist, you're being sexist. This is why these people are so useless and evil, is because everything
I
you
really
do...
hope that's just not some random picture of a dude.
Just
Like,
that poor guy in a Halloween party. My
Like,
hair's not even pink,
innit?
dude. It's just a wig.
oh man.
according to them, is racist. Always, because you're a white man. But let's be honest, guys, at the end of the day, this is about power, right? They think by calling you racist or homophobic, they have some kind of power over you. But the joke's on them. Racist and homophobe are words we laugh at now, because the people using these words are leftist cowards. You saw the Act Man try to make this statement in one of his recent videos. Oh, I guess everything is woke now, huh? So everything is just woke. This is what's known as a straw man fallacy, and it isn't actually an argument. If you lived in a town that was flooding and somebody said, "Why are you using the word flood so much? I'm so tired of hearing that word." Well, we use the word flood because it describes what is happening right now. More importantly, why are you defending gay-ass propaganda in video games?
Like,
All right, so I hope
he's
pretty
so,
bad analogy.
Like, he's so tiring because I just feel like
So childish.
it's just so childish, and they're false equivalents. Like, they're just not.
Yeah.
It's not equivalent at all.
I know people probably watched that initially that are like maybe fans of his and was like, oh, slam dunk.
Yeah.
That's like the most juvenile way to put
Yeah,
it possible.
literally.
If you wanted to engage properly with the conversation, there was like a million different ways to go about it.
Agreed.
Like that was so childish.
poor.
Like the problem with that argument is that it is so like if there's a flood, there is no debate.
Yeah,
Okay, just
there's
like
a fucking flood.
if a volcano erupts, there is no debate there. But when people use the word woke, there's a lot of people online that don't know what it means.
Yeah.
They don't know why they're saying it. They're just seeing something and they don't understand how to phrase it, and they slap woke on it.
Especially because the word itself has so much like negative connotations now.
Yeah.
When used, that a lot of people, kids maybe, will pick it up and use it just as a way to like almost like a bad word.
Yes,
but,
it's like a
you know,
swear word.
Yeah,
now.
literally.
Someone said it to me down the mic. He was like, he was quoting Andrew Tate. He was like, "You're woke, you're brokey." I started crying. I was like, "All right," but yeah, no. That if someone argued that my table's made of wood, I would just look at it and be like, I don't need to talk to
Yeah.
this person. You're stupid. But if someone said that's woke, I can actually ask them, "What do you mean by that?"
That one
what
fucked
part
me
are you
up
talking
because
about?
this is wood.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah, if someone said that this isn't wood,
Oh, this isn't.
I say it is.
When you said is, I said, is this not wood? Am I
metal.
an idiot?
But with woke, there's people use it in so many different
Yeah.
ways, and there are I know people that use it in the original way.
Yeah.
They still use it in the original way, like those that
So it's
Hotep
boomers.
black people. Yeah, like so that was dumb. Yeah, like Joe Rogan had one on there. I can't remember what his name was, Hotep something. I was like, right, these guys still out there doing that.
Oh shit. Yeah.
done a good job of explaining generally what wokeism is. Now, where do we see it in games? Wokeism shows up in games in at least 6 possible ways. Number 1, making female characters more ugly. Number 2, replacing male characters with female characters in order to virtue signal. Number 3, removing masculinity and masculine characters from games. Number 4, blindly inserting gay, black, and trans characters in order to virtue signal. Number 5, changing historical events to push contemporary political messages. Number 6, softening, watering down, and removing anything controversial or...
So those 6 attributes, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with. Where he decides to point them out is maybe where we might have a disagreement. But just that itself, I'm like, yeah, in Western games, I've seen all of this happen in existing titles.
That first one, I think I've got a little bit of a qualm with, just because having some female characters not be super attractive is just kind of realistic. Like, it's not to say that every female character in your game has been turned ugly. If there is still a good balance between attractive characters and characters that are not eye candy, then I think I'm okay with that.
My only issue...
If they're all ugly, then okay, we got a problem. But
yeah,
if they're not, like, I don't see an issue. Like, some people are ugly.
Yeah, my main issue is that when they get models to play the characters, and the woman actually exists, and then they make the character ugly, and I'm like, why don't you just make her look like the real woman? She actually exists. That's why I'm like, that was intentional. You did that. You gave her a fucking Johnny Bravo's jawline for what reason?
But sometimes, like, you can say, oh, you know, I really like your look, Mike, but, you know, you're a really masculine looking dude. But I want you to push his jaw out more. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, things like that happen. So that's why I'm just like, you might look at the character that someone designs off of your model and think, holy fucking shit, I don't look anything like that. What the fuck?
Yeah, but, you know? I hear what you're saying, but, like, say they put you in a game, right? They didn't change anything else, they just gave you a fucking fat nose.
Yeah.
You'd be like, it's not that you made me into a monster.
Yeah.
It's not that you made me like the Scorpion King, right? It looks like The Rock, but he's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
It's not that you made me a fantastical creature. You just made one part of my face really hideous. It added nothing to the story,
honestly,
nothing to the character.
I'm not going to lie, because obviously you're saying if you...
It's because they're real
that
people.
would make my life. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
a
going to
troll,
lie.
that's why. I'm saying objectively.
Truly, I think I could die happy, like, knowing that happened. Like, someone would switch on a game and there's just me, and then I turn to the side and
it's just fucking Giga nose.
A beak, dude.
But, like, if I say I did that to you, right, and I put you in the game and you're Giga nose Ellie, it would be like we're ripping each other. But if you gave your likeness to a company and they removed the tooth here, they gave you a big black head here, they gave you a giant nose.
I don't know if maybe this is just me, man.
Yeah, you'd find it funny, but how would the public react?
Bro, I would be so upset, but, like, I couldn't not look at that and laugh. Like,
we could laugh, but I mean, I look at some of these character designs and laugh. And
like, yeah, like, do you? I don't think that's ugly. I'm just like, it's just a character, dude. Like,
she's
just,
not.
I'm not. I mean, like, okay, nothing special. Like, nothing to write home about. You know, she's not in the spank bank, but maybe that's not where she belongs. You're not supposed to be thinking about her.
Her design.
Please tell me that's an adult as well.
I'm not. I think she's from Fable. I've seen the trailers before. I can't remember exactly if it's Fable or not. I just remember seeing it being like,
delete this.
Isn't Fable a fantasy game? Why am I looking at this?
In no fantasy does ugly characters exist.
The second one, replacing male characters with female characters, is very
that's
fucking
definitely
annoying.
woke, and I can't stand that, to be honest. I don't see that being helpful for anyone.
Now, I don't know if you've heard, but obviously Ghost of Tsushima was a massive game. Everyone loved it. Didn't hear anyone say anything bad.
Yeah.
Based on Jin Sakai during like the Mongol beef and all that. The next one coming out is called Ghost of Yotai. It's set a couple hundred years in the future in a different part of Japan. And it's a woman now, a female samurai. Now, on the surface, a female-led samurai game is not a problem. But they're using a real model for it. and the real model for the game has some views that is gonna upset people, which she's allowed to have them.
Yeah, man, like she's a real
But-
person, whatever. You don't have to agree with everything she says.
The things that she writes are very like, fuck the police, blah, and like very antagonistic, like vitriolic
Sounds
things.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, she's also the person they used for Sector in Mortal Kombat that already replaced another male character, so people were already like, I saw it and I was like, let me get this straight. Ghost of Tsushima was a hyper successful game. Everyone liked Jin Sakai. Everyone liked his story.
Yeah.
Instead of just continuing his story, because everyone's like, well, his story was done.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear that. But you look at the climate and you're like, let's go with a woman. And I was just like, I don't want this to come across sexist, but
this is the
what's
climate
going on?
of just making everything female, and it's such a shame because like I just feel like I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, maybe it's the thing I'm watching, maybe it's what I'm viewing, but it just seems a little just not necessary.
And the thing is that this game here, so this is a new game.
Oh, I've
coming
seen
out.
this. This looks pretty good.
It looks incredible. Like I'll just let it run with the sound off. But it looks so cool. This is a female-led, sort of like Wukong game.
Yeah, no, I saw the trailer for this. This looks insane.
Everyone that saw it was like, wow, holy shit, this looks amazing. It's a female-led character. Now, she's not doing anything provocative in it at all. She looks super cool.
Yeah,
like,
she
this
does.
looks awesome. And I didn't hear anybody saying, oh, it's a woman, blah, blah, blah. And I stopped and I was like, why is that? She's not replacing anyone. It's not shitting on any story. There's no controversy tied to the actress playing the character. I don't even know if this is actually an actress playing her or not, but I've heard absolutely nothing. I don't understand, like, you wouldn't take Wukong and you turn him into a woman. Like, the legend of Wukong, it's just, people would not accept it.
No, of course not.
So the whole narrative that these games journalists have where they're like, men don't want to accept women in leads is bullshit, because they drop games like this and everyone's like, yeah.
No, but we've known that that's been bullshit for a long time, surely. Like, that's just clearly not the case.
Yeah, but they keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. And
Yeah.
Korean, Chinese, and Japanese developers continue to prove that that's not true. They continue to bring out these games, and look how incredible this
It does
looks.
look pretty insane.
The combat even looks better than the combat in Wukong.
Villain looks awesome.
Yeah,
I'm getting Lady Demes.
I think she's a spider.
Vibes.
It looks so cool. I can't wait to play it. And she's doing like super badass stuff,
Yeah.
and nobody's like, oh, it's a Mary Sue. Why is she doing things that men do? No one said this about this game. So I think these people that keep on saying that need to look at these games, because this is not the only game where a female lead is in it and coming out that I've been paying attention to. There's even some indie games that look really good with female leads. I really like using female leads in horror games as well. I think females are better in horror games than men, personally. Maybe that sounds sexist as well, but because you're in a horror game, I feel like
think so,
the more defenseless the game presents the character to be.
Sense, yeah.
I think women are better in that.
Women are better at being defenseless.
Yeah.
And I
Put 'em
really think
I can't wait for this. It looks incredible.
Yeah, that looks great.
That's a day one purchase for me. What's the next one? Removing masculinity and masculine characters. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they did to Joe, I'll never forgive them. Dustborn is a monstrosity. Just adding characters into games for the sake of representation is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Changing historical events to push current messages. Everyone said this about Battle 5.
Yeah, I remember that was really like bad in sense of the criticism that it got for that.
Yeah, it's just like it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I saw lots of female YouTubers being like,
Why?
stop please, because what happens is there are some like genuinely bad faith people that see these things and then they'll go into a female streamer's chat and they'll just start roasting them, but they're like, wait, hold on, I don't even agree with this shit, you're just attacking me.
Yeah.
And then softening and watering down. Yeah, they do that all the time.
Edgy from games. So we are going to look at these 6 key ways that games have been wokeified, and we're going to track the increase of all of these things in games over time. Before we get into it, just to give you a larger sweep of the problem here, I tracked the 20 most played or critically acclaimed games
I
from
can't
2004,
stand this.
2014, and
This is such a
2024.
non-point for me. Where are the games?
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
I hope he goes on to explain it because this is nonsense.
What are the 20 games?
This is
I'm
MS Paint.
pretty sure like it's necessary to know what is considered the most played console and PC games each year, so that we know that we have the same benchmarks.
Yeah, it's very necessary to know, especially this guy, because when he did his comparisons before, do you remember?
Yeah.
He literally picked the most badass
worst.
masculine
And I'm
games.
so
the
glad
most...
we decided to fact check him that, because like if we hadn't, he would have got away with literally comparing apples to oranges.
Literally.
You can check my math below and see the games I...
Thank God. We should have waited an extra 2 seconds.
Yeah. Right, so 2004, those are pretty based games.
Yeah, they are.
Can't really see anything that I'd show on.
I'm literally looking for one.
2014.
I haven't heard of Sacred though.
Pretty based. Yeah, 2004 is fine. 2024.
South Park Stick of Truth.
They all seem like pretty good games.
That's literally the game where the difficulty gets harder, depending on the race you pick.
Oh, really?
Stick
That's
of
sick.
Truth.
So if you pick a black guy,
Yeah,
you're
being
like,
black is the hardest difficulty.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
jokes.
Hispanic is so.
Yeah, half and half.
Yeah.
picked for each year. 2004, we have games like Halo 2, Dragon Quest 8, Metal Gear Solid 3. Then for 2024, we have games like Modern Warfare 3, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Elden Ring, because it's still one of the most played games, etc., etc. I then showed in the blue bar if the game only allowed you to play as a man, then the pink bar is if the game lets you play as a woman or gives you a choice between man or woman or lets you play as a trans character. And I think this graph lets you see exactly what is wrong with the game industry. As we got away from playing male characters in games, the general quality of video games went down. And I hope that's clear in this graph. All right, so getting into specific games, let's talk about 12 games that went woke over time. The Last of Us. The first Last of Us game from 2013 was a heartfelt and masculine journey for its main character, Joel. It was one of the best-selling games and regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. With The Last of Us 2 in 2020, the director took a different approach. Joel is killed within the first hour of the game because, you know, men are bad. He is replaced with Ellie, who flaunts her broken sexuality and is in a relationship with a woman. I honestly didn't mind the first half of the game, but the last half is disgusting. For the last 20 hours of the game, you're expected to play as Abby, Ellie's mortal enemy. She's a really mannish and disgusting girl boss character, and there's a nasty sex scene with her cuck boyfriend.
I can't lie, I find the way he speaks about this just a little bit too much now. Like
he's being a
no, I think it's because it's not just edgy to be edgy, because he's making a response to Axeman. You can literally sound like he sounds mad, like he sounds hurt. Do you know what I mean? And I think that when you say those fucking things, like it sounds so mean, dude.
Yeah.
Like you
It sounds childish.
I'm just like, you know, there are actual trans people in this world. Like,
Yeah.
you can disagree with the way they live their life and stuff, but they do exist.
Yeah.
Just like,
The
you
thing
don't
is,
have to agree with everything they do, but to frame everything they do as being disgusting, it makes me mad.
the thing is, Abby's not even trans. She's just a big ass woman.
Is she not trans?
No, Abby's not trans. That's all.
What?
Yeah, Abby's.
What?
That's a woman. It's just in the apocalypse, she's getting her protein from somewhere. I don't know where, but those biceps Joel wasn't gonna survive that encounter either way.
What?
Yeah, I thought that Abby was trans when the game was coming out because I looked at her and I was like, well, that looks like a man.
Why did I think that?
Well, why wouldn't you?
I feel like no, but I didn't think that because I thought, oh, you know, because I you know me, I'm very much like women can be butch. Like there's some butch ass women,
Yeah,
but
she's a big ass woman.
I really thought that was her. Like, oh,
No, she's actually a woman. There's a whole sex scene in it.
wait. So what you're saying is that Andy Pants is saying that a lesbo sex scene is lame.
No, she has sex with a dude.
What is going on? This
14.
fucking game, dude. I don't understand anything anymore.
So this guy that she's with, that is in the kill scene with Joel.
Wait, so she's not a lesbian?
No, Ellie's a lesbian. Ellie's gay. Ellie's gay as fuck. No, Abby's not gay. She's just butch, and Ellie's not butch.
I'm
She's
going
just
through
gay.
the motions because, like, I went through like thinking Abby was fully trans.
No.
Discovering like no, she's fully just like a woman.
Just
And
a
then
big
I
ass
just
woman.
assumed because she's big.
That she's a lesbian.
I guess because he's framing it that way, but now I feel like an asshole.
No, I mean, look, if a lot of people that didn't play Last of Us 2 thought Abby was trans as well because of there was a lot of comparisons to Brock Lesnar.
Okay, but that was out there though, right? Like people were calling her the trans character. I didn't just fucking take that out of
Initially,
nowhere.
before the game came out, I think everyone assumed, and I thought that she
Yeah,
was trans
okay.
just because of how big she
Oh
was.
god, thank God. I'm not
Yeah.
just like...
But obviously we came to learn that she is indeed a woman.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Ellie's gay.
Okay,
Ellie's the one in
yeah,
a gay
I knew Ellie
relationship.
was gay. I knew Ellie was gay. Didn't know Abby wasn't trans
Yeah.
or Abby wasn't gay.
Yeah, Abby is a woman.
I
and she's
thought
straight,
Abby
she's
was
just
gay
fucking-
and trans.
No, she's just a world champion. Like she's and weighing in at 300. Yeah, she's that character. No, what Last of Us's problem is, yes, it told a story about this dude who was hyper masculine and very well versed in the apocalypse, really, really well, and everyone loved it. And then the second game came around, and the writing was so bad and contrived, and it just butchered his character. And then they had this very, very large woman batter him to death, and then the game tells you now you're going to play as her. From a narrative standpoint, that was ballsy. I don't think it paid off. I think the game sold well because the first one is considered to be one of the greatest games of all time, so everyone's going to jump on the second.
Maybe if she was a better villain, that device would have worked better.
Yeah, if they could have killed Joel, because killing Joel would have made sense because he did so many bad things
Yeah.
to protect Ellie, right? He
I
was
just
he was a
think
good guy in a bad world.
Yeah, exactly. But just the way he went, man. I
was-
remember
was
I
awful.
saw that death scene and I was just like, I'm never playing this game.
Yeah, it was
I'm
awful.
never playing this fucking game.
The whole of Last of Us 1, it was like, don't give your name out. There's even a whole part where there's this guy in the middle of the road going, help me, and Joel's like, puts his foot on the gas. Just, I was just like, this guy, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, if you're in his way, if you're in Ellie's way, he'll stomp all over you. And I was like, yeah, no, because his poor daughter at the beginning of Last of Us 1, you watch her die in his arms.
Yeah.
So he's just like, fuck the world. He sees his daughter in Ellie.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the second one, and they're like, so what's your name? And he's like, Joel, my camp's just over there. I was like, what? What are you doing? I have this debate with people all the time, and they're like, he didn't say that. And I'm like, I watch it all the time, and his brother says, oh, my name's Tommy. And it goes over to, Tommy goes, oh, our camp's down there, which was,
Yeah, he
I
does,
was
yeah.
like, Tommy, like,
Yeah.
oh, but it's Tommy, whatever. And then they didn't react because Tommy wasn't really known like that. Everyone knew who Joel was because he killed he took out the Fireflies. He basically stopped the world from being killed.
Yeah.
And it then pans to Joel, and he goes, oh, hey, my name's Joel. And then the room goes
Joel.
silent, and he goes, you guys acting like you know me. And then they shot him. And I was like,
Sad.
10 years you went immaculate.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight, you fuck up to complete strangers. One of which, has Joel ever seen a woman built like Abby and he thought, let me be trusting to
Yeah,
her?
literally of all.
Because if a woman's built like Abby, you know she's fucking
Yeah.
strong. Because
That's mad.
yeah, it was a mad scene. I don't know if it's just awful writing.
It's just shock. It's shock writing. It's like what David and Weiss did. Benioff, whatever the fuck their
But
names
you
with
can-
Game of Thrones.
You can shock people with writing and still do a good job.
Yeah.
Like a shock death, but that was terrible writing.
But that's what I'm talking about with Game of Thrones. They had the whole ending. Like everything was lined up,
Yeah.
you know? And then for the sake of shock and to kind of subvert expectations, they were like, actually, Arya kills the night.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late for you.
Too late.
I just did you a favor, okay?
When she jumped and it was like,
No, and then
he
she's
grabbed
like,
her. Yeah.
thank.
And I was like, bro,
I can't.
that was at least 18 frames you could have built.
Yeah, I can't, man.
First game was about masculinity, bravery, honor, defending a young girl. And the second game is about lesbians, being a cuck, and mannish chicks with big arms. This game hits woke checkboxes number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4. Gears of War. The Gears of War games in the 2000s were always about masculinity, a common purpose, and brotherhood. It's a very male-focused story, so it was odd when the cucks at Microsoft made Kate Diaz the main character of the story now. Instead of exploring themes of brotherhood and duty like the game did before, since 2016 the game is primarily about femininity, sisterhood, and when our periods happen. So yeah, Gears of War went woke and it sucks now. Woke checkboxes. No.
If they actually mention this woman's period, I don't know what I'll do.
So I didn't make it all the way through Gears of War when she came in because I got turned off. I was like, Gears of War 1 to 3 told an amazing story. When I went into this, I was like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I want Marcus.
Yeah.
I want a successor to his story. She's not a successor. So the writing was shit off the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know everything that happened in it, but I did hear from a lot of people it's not good. It's not as good as the other ones.
Number 2, 3, 4, and 6 have all been hit. Saints Row. The original Saints Row was very similar to GTA, but instead of being by yourself, you were part of a gang that helps you rise to power. With iconic characters like Johnny Gat, Shaundi, Julius, and others, Saints Row 2 is incredibly edgy and hilarious. You buy prostitutes, kill bums, etc. Well, the Saints Row reboot in 2022 seemed to think it was a good idea to replace every single character from this celebrated series with a bunch of gay dudes with their shirts off, ugly lesbians, girl bosses, and trans people. Like, huh? Nobody has ever understood their audience worse than whoever took control of the Saints Row reboot. The fans were noticeably upset when this stuff started to leak, and instead of Volition changing, they doubled down. And now the studio is closed. So as is often said, you go woke, you go broke. Hey,
It's just a case of not understanding your
Yeah,
audience. Like
absolutely.
they established an audience, and then
Why
they
would you do that?
Yeah,
And not
they
just
threw them
that, like, you didn't just throw all of that out. You threw out a lot of work.
Yeah.
You had all of Saints Row 2 to build off of, like, established, well-loved characters, and then you went, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You
it's-
got what
it's
you
very,
got.
very weird.
Sorry.
Yeah, you deserve what you
Yeah,
get. You don't take
100%.
something that's pre-existing and just be like, it's not even like we're gonna add something here and there. You just gutted it.
Shat all over it, yeah.
Fucking gutted the entire thing. Unbelievable. Yeah, you deserve to be shut down. I'm sorry, like, that's just stupid 101. Stupid.
Stupid.
I love it. I see Randy.
Stupido.
Cool Kofi. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
That's mad.
Halo. Halo was one of the games that got me back into video games in 2004, so I was really stoked to see the woke mind virus taking it over now. Here's Cortana in Halo 4. Here's Cortana in Halo Infinite. Yeah. They also disabled party chat by default in Halo Infinite because, you know, people are soft and can't handle reality now. They killed off funny characters like Avery Johnson. Also, if you look through the armor skins available to you in Halo Infinite, it's full of this kind of garbage like International Women's Day, Trans Visibility Day colors, Black Lives Matter. Like, where...
I'm against putting those things in because I don't think you should put any social or political movements in games. I really do think they should be removed. And if they have political themes in them, it should be like Final Fantasy where they handle their own political themes and they borrow from the real world. When
Yeah,
you do,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like their own, yeah,
because all games will borrow from
Yeah.
the real world to tell a political story.
That's
of some sort.
that's a very good point, actually.
But like Helldivers did it great. They were like, we're not putting any representation flags in this. Everyone fights under the banner of the Helldivers.
Yeah.
That's it. This is the fantasy world, and Helldivers is inherently political satire, right? It's like machismo propaganda, like dudes going to war and dying in battle and stuff. But they were like, no, we're all playing together. We're not going to represent one type of person on the body armor because as much as people might not like hearing that, because of the climate we live in right now, it's better to just not have any bodies and just stick to the game.
I agree with you.
Because then you get some people going, well, why am I seeing this?
It gets so convoluted. The whole
imagine
everything
they put a
gets
MAGA
hijacked,
skin.
Yeah.
Imagine there was a MAGA skin or a Don't Tread on Me
I'd still
skin.
wear it. I'd still wear it.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
But-
funny. We would
It'd be
find it
fine,
funny,
isn't it?
but we'd go on Twitter and it'd be on fire. Elon Musk would be water hosing everywhere. He wouldn't put it out.
Where is my Master Chief draped in the American flag? Where is my Master Chief with a Trump helmet? Like,
No, you idiot.
You're going the wrong way.
You stick to the game. I don't need fucking bald eagle Master Chief. I just need Master Chief to do what Master Chief does.
But I'm not being funny. If I'm gonna get gay Master Chief, I want
Yeah.
Master Chief.
Oh, MAGA Chief. People need to start. I mean, if it's like Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem's
Yeah.
like America, I'm like, yeah, I expect to see the American flag.
Makes
I
sense.
expect to see eagles. I expect to see big titty blonde
Yeah,
women. I expect to
makes
see
sense.
AK-47s. If you then make a Duke Nukem game and it's like International Women's Day and there's a trans, Duke Nukem's got a trans flag on, you obviously understand
Okay.
what's coming next.
Don't inherently see what's wrong with International Women's Day.
It's just the
Don't
wrong
shoot the
game
fucking
for it. It's
messenger,
like
man.
it's the wrong game.
Okay. No, I'm not saying that it's this specific game.
Mm.
But I'm just saying, like, it rolls around, Overwatch is like, oh, it's Women's Day.
Mm.
They're like, Happy Women's Day.
Overwatch, I think, could probably get away with it because of the kind
Yeah.
of ecosystem they have going on. But like, if I'm playing Tekken and they're like, because I think yesterday was International Men's Day. Most people didn't realize because no one gives a fuck. But
It's Men's Day every day. No, I'm joking.
we're not gonna have that conversation today. But if I
I'm
open up my
joking,
game
man.
and I saw International Men's Day, I'll be like, and then I saw International Women's Day, I'll be like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to play fucking Tekken.
This one's for the girls.
Yeah, like.
This one's for the boys.
Or like you open up, I don't know, what Stardew Valley. It's like Juneteenth. Fuck off, man. I'm here to farm.
Actually,
Oh god.
I'm joking.
For some reason, they left that out. Why do y'all think that is? And again, talk about just not understanding your audience at all. Do they really think edgelord Halo dudes want to be like, oh, dude, sick International Women's Day skin, brother?
Bro, they don't make their games just for these fucking edgelords. Like, their audience is made up of much, like, come on, man. It's bigger than edgelords. They're not going to make games for the edgelord, dude. They're not going to do that.
I just
And,
think
like,
they should keep this all out. It's just easier that way.
I say I agree with you. And I do. They're not going to do that. It's a way of making money and bringing money into the game. If
Yeah,
they
it
can be
hurts
like,
their
oh,
games,
let me sell you these skins for International Men's Day. All these men that are like literal Andy Pants, where he's like, fuck women. You know, he's gonna lap it up. He's gonna lap up International Men's Day.
No, I think if they did an American flag Master Chief, that will sell well. I think if they did a lesbian skin Master Chief or whatever, that won't sell well.
Yeah, but audience.
Yeah.
If they did like that in Overwatch,
Your one will
both
sell
would
well.
probably sell.
What, the American flag?
Both would definitely sell.
You reckon?
100%.
What about a MAGA costume?
Yeah, I reckon that would still bang as well.
In Overwatch?
Yeah.
I think people would troll the fuck out
Yeah,
of
we
us with
would
that.
absolutely.
If you sell a MAGA costume, it has to come with the theme song. America, fuck yeah! And then just every time I stream, I hear that.
To say the motherfucking thing.
Do you know what? What was this? It was that puppet film. What was it called again? Team America.
Yeah, it was Team America.
Do you remember the scene where like, because obviously that one of the dudes was like, oh, you have to suck me off to get certain positions, and then right at the end he's just choking on cum, and he's just like, and he just falls over.
It's Thunderbirds.
Thunderbird. Wait, isn't Thunderbirds the cartoon? Thunderbirds
No,
is the
no,
puppet
no.
cartoon.
You're right. It's called Team America.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
it's Thunderbirds. Yeah. Dude. Dad used to watch
Holy
this.
shit, no
Dad
way.
used to watch this. I used to watch it with him going, why the fuck are you watching this? And then when I got older, I was like, this is actually based fuck. This is actually sick. Fucking Parker, man. I remember Parker.
He's got the best face.
We need to do a Thunderbirds run, man.
Yeah,
we need
that'd
to
be great.
rewatch it.
Battlefield. So Sweden is overwhelmingly filled with homosexual men. I've
What
established
the
this before.
fuck, dude? Like, we're never gonna get through this video, bro. Everything he's saying, we're pausing to be like, what the fuck are you saying?
Everything is gay. That's
Sorry.
That's hilarious. I thought you were crushing things.
No, it's because she's taking up all the space. There you go.
But a broken clock is still right twice a day. In the early 2000s, DICE Entertainment made a few incredible Battlefield games, but in 2018, they done goofed. They took what had been, up until this point, a pretty realistic and accurate war game, and they added women, black girl bosses, and lesbians for no reason. Not a single woman fought on the front lines in World War II in the Western Front. But that wasn't going to stop the gay men of Sweden, so they put girl bosses in Battlefield 5 just to piss you off. I saw an article last week that DICE is completely changing directions and basically begging for us to come back. It's pretty awesome, actually. They keep talking about how Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 and how they learned their lesson and are going to change now. But it's too bad because I'm done with the Battlefield games and will never play new ones. Wolfenstein.
Loved Wolfenstein.
Yeah, great
Fucking
things.
bad. Well, used to love Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
I'll get right to the point with this one. Wolf 2014 is a very masculine, very based, very pro-America, and it's an awesome game. Wolfenstein 2017 is a woke abortion full of communist propaganda, Marxist messages, feminism, and inclusion. I also found Wolf 2 to just not be nearly as good of a game gameplay-wise as the 2014 reboot. The 2014 reboot and the Old Blood DLC are both really solid games without basically any political propaganda. It started getting really bad in Wolfenstein 2, but then it hit an absolute fever pitch with Wolfenstein Youngblood. Guys, watch some clips of this game and you'll see what I mean.
I've actually seen
They replaced BJ Blazkowicz, an absolute unit.
BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Like, that's a crazy name.
Such a giga Chad.
Yeah, that's mad.
And Chad and Badass with his two daughters. And they need to play cards and write in their blog about it the first time they kill somebody. Like, dude, come on. Also, the gameplay was just really, really bad. I tried the game. It was just an absolutely terrible game. It's full of feminism, communism. It's an abortion. Suicide Squad.
It's an abortion.
Oh my god.
The wording is not great, mate. You should have said it was shit.
Yeah.
But I get what he's trying to. He's poking at the left.
I don't mind the word. I'm just like, I don't mind words. Just
I know the words. I know the best words.
use them how you want.
If we consider this game to be a continuation of the Arkham games, then they absolutely butchered one of the greatest masculine characters of all time, Batman. In 2009, 2011, and 2015, Rocksteady had built up a reputation for making incredible Batman games. Really great story, unique gameplay mechanics, and I would say Arkham City still holds up as one of the greatest video games of all time.
I would agree.
So what did they do? Well, they butchered the gameplay, of course, and turned it into the most generic, sad, third-person slop shooter you've ever played. They replaced all the characters with lesbians, girl bosses, and minorities. And of course, there's all kinds of queer inclusion flags and equality flags everywhere in this game. And of course, white men have to be killed because we hate white men because white men are the worst. Companies like Rocksteady have destroyed...
Dude, the way Batman dies in this is unreal. I couldn't believe it. Like, you go through all of those Arkham games, and then you get here.
Turn mental and emotional damage to everyone you knew. It's our turn now. After all we've been through.
Oh no, I
Bet you didn't think it'd be me at the end. Hobbits!
Are we done with your bad stand-up routine?
Almost. But you always gotta end on your best joke.
Fucking
It's so dumb.
unreal. I would never buy a game that disrespected Batman's legacy like that. Just never. Especially because I think that was Kevin Conroy's last... that was the last time he appeared as Batman.
That's crazy. I'm so sad. They were
That's-
like, and he gets shot like his parents.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck off.
Yeah. And Harley as well.
Fuck
Come on, man.
off.
You could have had anyone else but Harley.
Literally.
Well, not anyone else, but...
our favorite franchise, and they all deserve to go out of business. Think about it. We could have gotten a fourth Arkham game from these guys, and instead we got this communist slop. Dragon Age. If you've
Come
played the
on,
first three
dude.
Dragon Age games, you know they're full of heterosexual romance, attractive outfits for sexy women, and tons of edgy, funny, and great storylines. Well, anytime the blue hairs see the boys enjoying themselves, you know troons and lesbians are going to show up and ruin this. Dragon Age Veilguard is shaping up to be the biggest woke abortion of the year. As I said earlier, this is the biggest breast and butt you can have on a woman in the game. While this is a small thing, you know this level of insanity is going to propagate itself through the whole game. So we're looking at just a small detail, but small details add up and show you the general direction of a video game. Woketal Combat. I am not intimately familiar with the Mortal Kombat series right now, but I get messages about it a lot. Apparently characters that were...
I'm very familiar with the Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
series, so anything that he says, so I'll be able to let you know if he's telling the truth or not.
Once attractive women have been downgraded into ugly, boxy outfits, Edgy and offensive storylines have been removed, and gay depravity is being copy and pasted throughout the game now, and nobody wants it. Zelda.
So in Mortal Kombat 1, Melina is in a gay relationship with Tanya. There wasn't anything egregious on screen that was shown. They were just, they were gay. But Melina, to me, has always been like one of these characters that were like, if you breathe, she'll have sex with you. Like, that's how I've always perceived it. Even though she never had sex with anybody on screen, she's one of those like characters that is like super sexualized.
Yeah, you can.
So
tell.
she could enter a relationship with anyone, and it would make sense to me. Tanya's gone through loads of different iterations. She looked Egyptian at one point, and she's been black at one point. In the new game, she's like clearly inspired by like the Black Panther female characters. People took issue of how she looks. I think it's a little bit overblown. Personally, I think it's a little bit overblown, especially because in the expansion she did look really good, and I think it's just the hairstyle choice they went with the first one. But yeah, it's Mortal Kombat has definitely gone down a road I'm not really appreciating, but we'll be here all day talking about it. All I'll say is that it's definitely not what it used to be. If it was a Giga Chad before, can't really choose a non-offensive.
Chadwick now.
Yeah, definitely not a Bozeman though.
This one is very short. The Zelda games have always had a male protagonist, but of course, woke Nintendo had to ruin that. The new Zelda game stars Princess Zelda because she don't need no man. She can do everything herself. Fallout New Vegas, as I...
Okay, wait, hold on. That's stupid.
Yeah,
He put that one in to
know.
fluff the time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that game.
Literally nothing.
There's nothing wrong with woke with that game. We've played as Princess Zelda before in different forms. She's also got her chic form, so she can actually handle herself.
She can handle her business.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also, let's not forget that the person that fucked her up was Ganondorf.
Literally.
Who could literally body everybody. So
I've said many times, is one of the edgiest and best games of all time. I mean, you can roleplay as the bad guys if you want. In Fallout 3, you can literally enslave kids. But of course, as all woke games do, because people's fifi got hurt, they have to remove this stuff. What is there to say about Fallout 76 that hasn't been said already? It is a woke, bland cash grab with loads and loads of dull, inoffensive characters with absolutely no perspective on anything. Oh, and it's full of gay depravity in every nook and cranny, with tons of gay flags everywhere. Spider-Man 2. Despite MJ...
I think if he is allowed to frame everything that is inclusive as extreme wokeism, then this is extreme right. Like, the way that he's talking about these people.
yeah.
Like, I just think there's a much fucking deeper problem here, dude. Like, you have actually got a problem.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not normal. Like, everyone else would just be like, meh. Like, these things are happening, but...
Well, there's a way to talk about
exactly,
it, right?
but he's not making these videos for the reasons that he wants you to believe he's making these videos.
I think we all know though now. I think the curtain behind Andy Pants has been pulled.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I'm not here to tell people how to talk,
Yeah,
but I do think how people talk is very telling of their intentions. And I'm not stupid. Like, I know what this guy, if it wasn't for YouTube guidelines and he is already really pushing them, I think he would be going much, much further in his descriptions. There's a conversation to be had about adding in pride flags and certain political movements into games. I am against it. But
and
I
to
don't
be honest,
hate those
after
people.
hearing what you said, I can understand your points and we can actually have an intelligent conversation. One would hope. But what I'm mean is, like, with people like him that want to voice everything the way that he has a tendency to, it just doesn't lend itself to a good or productive conversation.
Yeah, you can't have a conversation when you talk like that, because the people you're talking about are going to be like, hold on a minute.
Like, you've got some genuine disdain for these groups of people. Me and you are not the same.
Yeah.
Like, I can laugh and have a joke, but at the end of the day, like, they're still people and they do deserve rights. Yeah. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, maybe, you can say that it's over-representation, but the way he's talking about them, it's like he doesn't want to see them at all.
Yeah.
And do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, like, they exist. They're part of the gaming space as well. They're not. It's not that they're like minority, but the way you're going about it is like, I don't want to see them at all.
Yeah. Get out of my game.
Yeah,
Get off my property.
I don't like that.
Being smoking hot in every piece of Spider-Man media for 30 years, it turns out the broken gay Satanists who work at Sucker Punch know better than us chuds. In Spider-Man 2018, Mary Jane was unattractive, and then they made her even uglier in Spider-Man 2. What makes this worse is if you look directly at her huge, ugly chin, you can see that she was meant to look like the lead girl boss writer from the games. All of these evil people just want to like self-insert themselves in game.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, it's very obvious. I can't disagree with him there. It looks very obvious to me. And Mary Jane has always been like very beautiful looking. Her depictions in the comics have always been that. I don't like these self-insertions by the developers.
Kind of cringe as fuck though. Like, oh, dude, I can't imagine getting the opportunity to be a part of this long-standing. Like, this is a legacy at this point,
It's
and
fucking Spider-Man.
like, you take that and you're like, I'm gonna be Mary Jane.
Yeah. Me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just.
that is like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, I don't mean to shit on her.
That's
I don't want to shit on a
cringe.
woman on the internet for her looks.
No,
but
I'm not. But I'm not doing that.
I know you're not doing
Yeah.
it. It might come across like I'm doing that, but
I don't think
she
it is. Yeah.
is. If you said to me, Mike, here's a bunch of women in this lineup. Pick one as Mary Jane. I can tell you almost every single time it would not be
It
this
would not.
woman.
Yeah. She is not unattractive by my standards, or what I would consider any real standard. Like, she's not an unattractive person, but I just think that by way of the lore of Mary Jane,
The fantasy of
the
her.
fantasy of Mary Jane, and no, to be honest, it's not even a fantasy. She's fucking established. It's been long time established, and that's not her.
Yeah, they got constant.
That's girl
dumpster
next
player.
door. Like, Mary Jane is,
Yeah,
I guess, girl next door, but
yeah.
hyped up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sexualized, which I guess maybe is what they're trying to take away, but not everything needs to go.
You also don't need to sexualize her, but you also need to make sure that the Mary Jane that we get is a beautiful woman, because that is Mary Jane. That's why Peter would fawn over. That's why everyone fawned over her. She had everyone tripping in the school. No offense to this woman. No one's tripping. No one's gonna trip. You know, it's just like these self-insertions are so blatant.
I think she's pretty. I think she's an attractive woman, but I just don't think she's Mary Jane. I think she can be Mary Jane in her fantasy, but not in the one that is an established world. Like, you're creating a game based on things that you know. So create them based on what you know.
Yeah.
Mary Jane is a sex pot.
Yeah.
So leave her as that. Don't insert yourself if you are not that.
And it's also important to note that this is not an original story, so we can turn around
Yeah,
to it and say
exactly.
this has pre-existing lore, a
Yes,
pre-existing
it does.
fan
Do
base.
not touch it.
Serve the fan base, not
Yes,
yourself. If it's
100%.
your game, if you want to
By
do
all
that,
means.
people can react however they want. That's up to them, but you can do that. But with Spider-Man, we've come to expect certain things from Peter and from Mary and from Harry and from
Agreed.
Osborn, all that. If you fuck with them, we have every right to say to you, what the fuck is this?
Like, if they made Flash Thompson ugly, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Which they did.
Like, that.
Flash Thompson, the original Tobey Maguire ones, Giga Chad, he's
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara's
Literally.
husband, right?
No. But I know what you're saying, but he's famous, but he's not like, that's not Sofia Vergara's husband.
It is. That's her husband when he was younger.
It's not. The guy is from... He was a blonde dude. That's her husband.
Yeah.
That's not Flash Thompson, dude.
What's his name?
I mean, that is his name, but...
That's him.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's him when he was younger.
Stop it.
You didn't know?
Oh, he got so much better with age.
Yeah.
And he's like a fine wine, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him when I
I'm
first
sorry,
watched the
click
film.
on that photo. Oh, it looks like Typhon. In it?
He looks like
It
Typhon.
looks like Typhon.
He looks like, yeah, actually looks like one of our friends.
Sorry, this is just... no, wait, go back to that other photo. No, dude, I cannot believe that. Sorry about that. Anyway.
So this was Flash Thompson, and I believe he is Flash. Like when I saw him, I was like, that's believable.
Yeah, he's a Giga Chad, absolutely.
But Flash
I believe that.
Thompson in the new films,
Although I did not believe Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane.
didn't.
No.
Oh, we liked her.
Yeah, that's not a woman after my own heart, I'm afraid.
She was off mine. You know what I'm saying? This is the new Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
what are we doing?
What?
What are we doing?
In what world? In the world where
In
he's
the
the
woke
one,
world.
he's the one getting stuck in a bin. I don't understand. That's not Flash Thompson, dude. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's literally him in the film. That's Flash Thompson in the film. I saw it and I was like, are they fucking kidding me? Like, no, that's not Flash Thompson. I can accept that as Flash
I can
Thompson.
accept, yeah.
He looks like a bully. He looks like a jock. He looks like he'd be the one with Mary Jane.
Dude, I was picturing this blonde. Do you know I was picturing?
Yeah, because
what
that's
was
Flash
that
Thompson in the
guy,
comics.
dude?
That's why you were picturing blonde.
No, yes, but I'm picturing a very specific actor, and I don't know why. Strange, anyway.
Probably just some other guy with a square jaw.
Yeah, it was literally.
It seems. Instead of, maybe making something that their audience wants. Watch Synthetic Man's video on Spidey 2 if you want a full write-up on all the gay nonsense. But Spider-Man 2 is one of the gayest and grossest games of all time. It's full of true nonsense. It's really just a completely unenjoyable mess. All right, next up, we're going to talk about 3 games that got woke remakes. If you ever wanted to catch these people with their hands in the cookie jar, the best place to do it is to show you how they love to change old games. Modernize these games. Let's make them more inclusive so people's feelings don't get hurt. The first example is Mass Effect. While I'm sure there's tons of examples of this game being wokeified, the most egregious one was the downplaying of the attractiveness of women in the game. There is a distinct scene where Shepard looks at Miranda's butt and enjoys it, and they removed this from the game. Dead Space. Dead Space is another game that got a woke remaster.
Is that so huge that you're actually it's going to make a difference to your gameplay?
I've never played Mass Effect, so I don't know how much he's exaggerating here. I don't know exactly.
No,
what he
but
removed.
I'm sorry. That does nothing for the story. I'm just like, this is nothing. This is if this is one of your main fucking examples,
Yeah.
this is lame. This is lame. They took out this fucking scene where my guy Shepard looks at some ass.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, I hear what you're saying.
Dumb as fuck.
From the game.
And this
Dead
is
Space.
exactly why I was telling you. Do you remember when we were having that conversation before and I was saying to you, like, it just seems like men have a problem when not every character is someone that they think they can imagine themselves fucking.
But then I would ask you,
Yeah.
what was the reason for removing that scene? If it's so insignificant, why remove it?
Why do you need a reason to remove an insignificant scene? If it's insignificant, that by way of it being insignificant means it's not necessary.
But then, because you haven't played it, have you? All right, so we're both spitballing. Let's say that that's the only insignificant scene removed in there.
The only one.
Let's say that there's several insignificant scenes with like males or with women, but then
I don't know. I don't want to do that though, because I feel like
speculating.
no, because that's specific. Like he chose that example, and we're willing to bet that he has played Mass Effect.
I don't know. I don't know if this guy's played what the games he's talking about.
I don't know, dude. Like he seems pretty
enjoys
confident
it.
in
And
what
they-
he's saying. So if what he's saying, we have to take that at face value, right? So he's saying they took this scene and they decided to take it out. And I cannot find at what point this would be a significant plot point or a significant point that would significantly change the course of the story or the course of his character development.
Unless he has some sort of interaction that leads from this. But again, I'm assuming.
So if they had had sex after this scene, right, it would have been bad if this scene hadn't been in the remake.
The thing is,
If
I can't say because I haven't played.
It's lame, dude.
I can't say 'cause I
This
haven't
is
played
lame. No, I'm sorry. Even without telling, I can tell you right now, even without playing this fucking game, this is clearly an insignificant scene. Insignificant enough that they took it away and barely anyone probably noticed except for these fucking people with their fucking hand straight down their trousers. One hand here and one pad on the other fucking, on the pad. So I'm just like, get your hand out, There are other websites to visit, darling. And
Got
they're
a
free.
woke remaster, and you can find a
don't have
Steam
to
thread
pay
with all of the
£50.
changes that they made. Everything from changing the race of people, changing posters on the walls to fit with current day leftist ideologies, making women more ugly in the game, making certain characters lesbian, etc., etc. Just this month, we got a third woke remaster of the game Dead Rising. This was originally one of my favorite games on the Xbox 360 and actually was an exclusive to it. I played it in 2023 and can confirm the game is super edgy and wonderful. Apparently, they took out a bunch of edgy dialogue, they took out parts of the game making fun of communists, and I can already guarantee you that any female character that was attractive in the game, they have now made less attractive.
So there's actually something they took out of this game that was, I can't remember if it was very offensive to Chinese people or Japanese people or something, but I won't speak too much for that game because I haven't played the remake. I can't get the information right on it. But I do remember in Street Fighter they took out the that Japanese rising sun flag. That flag is extremely offensive to Korean people because it's from the Japanese imperialist army when all that shit was going on.
Yeah.
And so
raped a bunch of their women.
People were like, why have you taken that down? I was like, hey, wait, hold on. Guys, let's pick our battles here. Let's think about what happened and what that flag represents, okay? No one would say that if it was a swastika. But because we're over in the West, we're used to seeing the rising sun. To Koreans, it's the same thing to them. When they see that flag, their bloods boil. So they removed that from E Honda's stage. And I saw people writing articles going, Street Fighter goes woke. And I was like, hold on a minute. No, like this is not, I don't think that's the same thing. Like if M. Bison is obviously, it's a comical take on Hitler. But he's not got a swastika on. If he had a swastika on, I'd be like, that's a political like statement almost, like that is a real world symbol that they use, and it's a sign of oppression to some people. It shouldn't be in the game. Like if we're gonna have it one way where we're saying don't have the pride flag and all that in the game, I also don't think you should have these other things in there that can also, because he obviously finds it offensive to see those flags. I'm willing to bet a lot of people would find it offensive if Bison was walking around with a literal Nazi swastika, even though he dresses like Hitler.
No, I agree with you. I actually do. And I think it is one way or the other. You either take all of this shit out or you go fucking balls in. Yeah. You can't have it one way, not the other. You got to be fair.
So moving on, let's go to new games that came out from 2000 to 2024 that have been woke from the beginning of their creation. We got Apex, Dustborn, Concord, Star Wars Outlaws, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, and Forspoken. And I know there's many more, but these are just the ones that I'm familiar with. Isn't it interesting how the woke mob has seen the fundamental error they were making in changing old beloved games and characters and making them gay? So they had this amazing idea. Let's make new games that are woke from the start and they won't notice. Sadly, we did. All of these games on here are full of tedious political messages. All of these games are watered down, sanitized slop, without anything edgy or funny or controversial in them. And Apex is about the only one on here that wasn't a complete flop sales-wise. All of these games flopped. Nobody wanted to play them, and I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that the people who were making these games quit the industry and go do something else, like work at Starbucks, just do something else. All right.
I think it's important to note, though, that there's nothing wrong with having gays or lesbians or trans in games because we've seen Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate has loads of same-sex relationships. It does everything, right? Baldur's Gate is, to everybody, even people that are left are like, this is a woke game, but everyone loves it. It's how you handle these themes. It's not an automatic, I see minorities, I hate the game. I see gay people, I hate the game. Like, that's at least not what I'm...
It's so in your face. I don't know. I don't know, maybe that's the problem. It's just so in your face.
Yeah, like there's a way that they do it that puts people off. But you look at Dragon Age and you look at Baldur's Gate, they're not the same game, but they exist in the same vein almost.
And the tone of this game is very different. Like, I can't see a man picking this up.
Yeah, a dude probably wouldn't play this game.
Like, but I just can't see that.
From the bottom of my heart, that the people who are making these games quit the industry.
Yeah, but this game in particular is a no-one game because literally this game failed horribly.
No, but like you know what I mean when I'm looking at it.
Aesthetic. But actually, do you know what? Walking Dead has that kind of
aesthetic. It's the art style is the same, but the premise is completely different. Like look at that. There's nothing about that screams horror to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one missed the mark completely.
Completely.
No one played it.
I missed them.
Go do something else, like work at Starbucks. Just do something else. All right, so if you look on the chart here, you can see the 15 or so games I've been tracking, and you can see a precipitous increase in leftist messages and communist messages and in woke messages increasing in all of these games over time. You are burying your head in the sand and denying obvious evidence if you continue to deny this garbage. Any leftist cuck who continues to deny the obvious wokeifying of games is clearly not an honest person worth listening to. But for the cherry on top, isn't it a shame that we actually know why all this is happening? And it's because DEI companies, agencies, and consultancies have been consulting on almost every single one of the games I've mentioned above. Sweet Baby Inc. is a consultancy that pushes leftist messaging in games and has become a pariah.
See, this is my only problem with the DEI hiring. It's not that you're hiring somebody that is gay or black that is the problem. It's the ideas that they carry with them that could be the problem. So if you hire somebody, if you hire somebody to work on Spider-Man, I don't care what they look like.
Yeah.
Just understand the source material and what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. So when they do the diversity hires, my question is, like, are you hiring them based on what they look like, or are you actually listening to the things that are coming out
I
of
get
these
what you're
people's
saying.
mouths?
Like, I know they're ticking your boxes, but fundamentally at heart, do they have the knowledge of the source material and the respect for it?
Yeah.
Are they coming in like, I'm tired of the way things have always been and I just want to shake things up?
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, you're thinking, fuck.
Yeah, we got a
This is
problem.
established material, buddy,
yeah.
you know?
Like God of War, I don't mind if there's no black people in it. I'm not going to take any fucking offense. I'm going to be okay.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, like originally they told the story of the Spartans, right? Well, Spartans ain't black, are they? So if I don't see any black people in it, no problem.
Yeah.
They go over here, it's Norse mythology. Norse mythology doesn't have black representation. It's Norse mythology. You wouldn't be shocked if you looked at like African mythology in different parts of Africa and didn't see any white people, would you? So I don't need them to insert characters into things like this to make us feel better. That's when I see that, immediately my mind goes to tokenism.
Yeah.
You had to have one of us there.
Yeah.
You had to check
It's
a
true.
box.
Yeah, 100%.
And you don't need that.
Any game that this
No, we
company
don't.
touches fails immediately. Spider-Man 2,
works on
Dustborn,
paper, but not
Concord,
in
Star
theory.
Wars
Yeah.
Outlaws, The Crew
Practice.
Motorfest, Alan Woke 2. With the exception of Spider-Man 2, almost every game here has been a huge failure. But it doesn't...
I wouldn't say a huge failure.
God of War was not a failure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what that last game is either.
I think Dustborn's at the top. I think based
Battle
on the art
Shapers,
style.
never heard of it.
Never heard of it. So we
Usual,
can assume
don't
it's a
know.
failure. Though we can assume these. I don't know what this is. Maybe if that's
Dustborn.
Dustborn, they're all failures. But these three weren't failures.
Yeah, Alan Wake I can't see being a failure.
I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Hmm.
I haven't finished it. I played enough of it. I wasn't the biggest fan. But Spider-Man and God of War were
Hell no,
definitely
yeah.
not failures. God of War. This is my least favorite of the new God of
a
Wars.
lot of people have said that to
Yeah.
be fair, but they've never said it's a bad game.
It's
They've
not a bad
said
game.
it's a good game, it's just the worst of ones that have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, you can't top the originals.
Yeah.
They were so chaotic. You even breathe wrong next to Kratos. It's like, Zeus! I love that. This Kratos is very mellow. Like, son, come here.
He's got a boy.
Yeah, and I get it, he's been through a lot. He's trying to mellow out.
Mm.
But I just miss the chaotic Kratos where he's just ripping people's heads off.
Yeah.
in there. We know huge companies like Ubisoft and Activision and other companies that have huge diversity, equity, and inclusion departments to push all of this satanic gay stuff into the games we love. We know
Whoa.
Activision...
Whoa!
Yeah, that-
What the fuck, dude? I'm so glad you caught that at the same time I did. I was so used to him being like disgusting gay shit. But then as soon as he said satanic,
Satanic's crazy.
satanic is mad.
Yeah, like I don't think it's helpful. I don't think it really works to say that gay people by default are satanic.
Satanic.
Maybe the wrong video for that. Bit of a crazy thing to say on YouTube. But yeah, he's got 185,000 subscribers. It's
That-
working.
Wow.
opened its DEI branch in 2022. We know Sweet Baby Inc. opened in 2018. All of these horrible trends we hate so much correlate directly to these activists starting these companies. All right, guys, so in closing, if you still deny the obvious wokeification of games, you're lying, and I think you know it.
I think there's more of them,
one
but
day
I don't
you
think
realize
there's enough evidence to say they're all wokeifying.
They're not all wokifying because the East exists.
Yeah.
Korea, China, Japan are... Well, Japan seems a little bit like there's actually a video that when I come back from Greece, we can do about what they're trying to do to anime, because it's fucking despicable.
Oh, no.
But that's a conversation for another day. But the West, yeah, it's definitely happening more. But I feel like there's a shift now because people have spoken with their wallets. A lot of these games are doing really poorly.
Yeah.
So
but the Eastern games are doing really well.
They're doing great. People love them.
So they're doing the talking.
Yeah. So even though Andy Pants is using very inflammatory language to get his point across, at the end of the day, a lot of these games are not doing as hot as they thought.
Yeah.
People were making out that Dragon Age is fine and that there's just these chuds on Twitter talking shit. It turns out it's actually not doing that good.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of refunds. I've never seen reviewers go back and be like, well, we gave it a 9, we're actually going to give it a 7. I've never seen that before. That's crazy. And then you see all the clips coming out of it and you're like, yeah, who was this for? And then you go into the game and you're like, clearly somebody wanted to self-insert this and self-insert that, and people are not stupid anymore. We know when we're doing that. We're trying to get involved. Dragon Age is meant to be a fantasy world. I ain't trying to read your bullshit journal about X, Y, and Z.
you can wake up and be honest. But to deny the obvious trends of games towards woke ideologies is just delusional at this point. And one more thought in closing here. Why do you guys think woke ideology goes so directly against us gamers? And I think it's because, fellas, video games...
I just think that...
That is the 80s if I've ever seen it.
I just think it's the way that it is necessarily forced down your throat. It's not necessarily a choice to enjoy these things. They're kind of trying to force you to enjoy.
They're telling you what to like.
Yes, and I think that just comes across as very
It's not going to work on gamers.
No, it's not.
It might work
on... You're talking to people that, are constantly switched on.
Yeah, they're always online.
Exactly. So, you're not going to pull the wool over their eyes this easily.
Yeah, and gamers tend to band together with these sort of things. Like there is a split right now, but I do think the split is there's one side that is very big that doesn't like this, and that's why these games are failing. There's a very vocal minority that is saying you guys are racist, but it's not a racist. I mean, I'm only speaking for Andy Pants is...
Yeah, he's all of the above, but I get his points. Some do stand. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're interesting to talk about.
Yeah, they're observable. Yeah, which is why you can talk about them.
Yeah, definitely. I would say some.
But I love this art. That art is just incredible. It's just... That is the 80s if I have ever seen it. When I see that picture, I can just hear Rocky's theme in my head. Arnold Schwarzenegger dabs up.
Games have always been edgy. Video games, let's be honest, have historically been aimed at men. So the things men like and get excited about is naturally going to dominate games. The whole idea of being overly sensitive about video game content is just such a cancerous perspective, and I hope it dies out. Instead of Make America Great Again, I think I want a shirt that says Make Video Games Edgy Again. Look, I'm a Christian, but I don't want every game I play to have some kind of Christian...
Clutches.
What? What? What?
Is he a Christian, B?
He said, I'm a Christian. So
fuck you guys. Well, I mean, if he's a Christian, then his anger towards seeing gay people in games
is understandable now from that perspective. Although, based on his other language, I'm not seeing Christian. I'm just seeing I hate gays, and I'm hiding behind my Christian mask.
Yeah.
Message in it. I just want games to be what they've always been. Edgy,
disgusting,
fun, place to mentally escape from the world. And it's woke ideology that is directly attacking this right now. And these people need to be stopped because they're trying to take...
There's a game that everyone was supposed to have loved, and it fucking sucked.
It was such a shame.
It fucking sucked.
Because I love Duke Nukem, but
Yeah.
the game was shit.
Yeah, the
the
game
gameplay
sucked.
was awful. If you're gonna do a Duke Nukem Forever game, give it to someone that knows about producing. Like the gameplay is very important.
Very important.
Present, current day, shitty politics, and they're trying to insert it in games. And we just want games to stay what they've always been. All right.
All right, so that's the end of the video. We did 2 hours on a 20-minute video.
We are cooked.
We are the king of yapping. But by the time they see this, I'll be in Greece. So this is the best I could do, guys. Andy Pants. But in closing, I hear his points. I think that he understands how to diagnose the situation, but the prognosis is just it's a mess.
Yeah.
Like we can all see what's going on, but some people, rather than like being like, okay, we see what the problem is, let's have a talk about it.
Yeah.
There's some people it's like, I see the problem.
Literally what I was about to do.
Yeah, that guy. And I don't think it helps. That's why like I always try to open up conversations on the channel. I'm like, let's sit and talk. I had a Del Walker and I was telling you about him. And we had a really nice chat.
Yeah.
I know we don't agree on everything, but
You don't
I
have
feel
to
like
really
I
have a big
can
conversation.
message him now and be like, yo, what do you think about this? Maybe he won't reply, but he knows
Yeah.
that I'm not out to get him.
Exactly, yeah.
But you can't really have a conversation with Andy Pants because we really saw Axeman try to do that and it was
To the point where he doesn't even want to like entertain a conversation with him anymore.
yeah, and I don't
And
blame
he
him.
sees it as like, oh, they're chickening
I
away.
got-
But
it's a win.
I can absolutely see why he wouldn't want to entertain a conversation with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother speaking directly to him because I don't think anything of worth will be made of it.
Absolutely not.
It'll be like, so what? Are you gay? Are you gay? And then his whole chat would be like, Mike Holler's gay, he's soft, he's weak. Same shit you hear all the time.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed 2 hours of our yapping.
Enjoy.
Say bye, B.
Guys.
You turned them on.
He turned him on. Oh.
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 Are you gay?
Are you gay,
Are you gay for B?